You are in Los Angeles, and you are a stunt double, standing on a set built to look like a war zone, with fake rubble, burning cars, and cameras mounted on cranes above you. The star of the film is miles away in an air-conditioned trailer, sipping water and rehearsing lines, while you are strapped with wires, covered in dust, and preparing to throw yourself through a window for the 5th time today. From the outside, it looks like you are living the dream, as if you step straight into a video game, dodging bullets and leaping from rooftops while the whole crew watches. It feels for a moment like you are the center of the action, but you know better. The applause will not be for you. The interviews will not feature your name. And when the audience gasps at the impact, they will think the star did it all. This job is sold as exciting, glamorous, and larger than life. But the truth is that your life is made of bruises and cuts hidden under makeup, bones aching from yesterday's stunt while you prepare for today's, and a paycheck that barely covers the physical toll. You are expected to smile when the director asks for another take, no matter how much it hurts. You hit the ground again and again until the camera gets it right. The world sees a fearless hero, but behind the mask, it is your ribs that take the blow. Your skin that burns against asphalt, your lungs that fill with smoke after every explosion. Every contract you sign is short, and every job can be your last. The production will replace you in a heartbeat if you can't perform, because there is always a line of hungry stunt performers ready to take the same risks for the same low pay. In this industry, you are disposable. You are the body that makes the magic look real. But when the credits roll, your name is buried at the bottom or not even there at all. The star will walk the red carpet. The director will take the awards, and you will be at home icing your swollen knee, waiting for the phone to ring for the next dangerous gig. The illusion is powerful and addictive. When the cameras roll, when the explosion erupts behind you, when you hear the call of action, it feels like you are part of something legendary. But as soon as they yell, "Cut!" the pain rushes back, the bruises throb, and you're reminded that this isn't glory, it's survival. You are not the hero. You are the shadow, the substitute, the one who makes a story look real but lives a story of constant danger, little recognition, and a body that pays the price every single day. Every day begins with the same ritual. Stretch out joints that no longer bend easily. Swallow the painkillers that keep your body moving. And brace yourself for the next impact. The routine of a stunt double is not glamorous. It is built on repetition, exhaustion, and damage. The cameras might only need one perfect take, but to get it, you will hit the ground over and over until the director is satisfied, each fall shaking your bones a little more than the last. A simple 2-meter jump looks harmless on screen, but when you crash down on your knees and spine 15 times in a single afternoon, the cartilage wears away, the ligaments strain, and by the end you can barely walk back to the trailer. Every stunt looks clean on film because your body absorbed the punishment behind it. Concussions are a part of the job, and most go unreported. A head snaps against the floor during a fight scene, vision blurs, ears ring, but the cameras are rolling and you are expected to keep going. Cuts from broken glass are glued shut with skin adhesive so the blood does not ruin the costume. Burns from controlled explosions blister under protective gel, but the director still asks for another take because the fireball was not wide enough. You learn quickly that pain is not a signal to stop, but a reminder you are doing the job right. Everyone on set treats it as normal. No one applauds when you limp away from a crash. They only look at the monitor to see if the shot worked. The cruelest part is the speed with which you are replaced. If your ankle twists on the landing and you cannot continue, another stunt performer steps in without hesitation. The production cannot wait for you to heal. There are schedules, budgets, and release dates, none of which pause for your broken bones. Directors and producers often push you to come back before you're ready, because once you show weakness, your phone stops ringing. Returning too soon means the fracture never heals, the spine bends the wrong way, and the pain becomes permanent. Many veterans in the industry walk with a limp, their bodies destroyed long before they hit 40, because every comeback was rushed to hold on to a career that never valued them in the first place. The cycle never ends. You go home each night covered in bruises, shoulders stiff, joints swollen, but tomorrow you are back on set pretending to be indestructible. The audience will only see the hero standing tall at the end of the scene, never the wrecked body lying awake at night counting the hours until the next fall. The routine is not about surviving one dangerous stunt. It is about surviving hundreds of them, every week, every month, until the day your body finally gives out. And when it does, the industry simply moves on without you. The spotlight never touches you. The posters show the actor's face, the talk shows celebrate their bravery, and the press calls them fearless for surviving explosions or leaping across rooftops. But the truth is that while they stand safely behind the cameras, you are the one set on fire, you are the one thrown through glass, and you are the one driving the car into a wall. Yet when the credits roll, your name is buried near the bottom in small print or sometimes not listed at all. The audience leaves the theater cheering for the star, never realizing they were clapping for your broken ribs, your burned skin, your shattered knees. You are the invisible half of the illusion, the shadow that makes the hero look untouchable. The financial reality is just as brutal. A lead actor might earn millions for a single film, even when their role requires nothing more dangerous than standing in front of a green screen. A stunt double earns a fraction of that, often struggling to cover rent, food, and endless medical bills. When an accident happens, the studio may pay for emergency treatment, but long-term therapy, rehabilitation, and permanent damage are often left for you to handle. A shoulder torn out during a fight sequence means months without income and thousands spent on surgery, while the star you protected moves on to the next blockbuster. The scale of inequality is staggering. The person who risks death earns less in a year than the actor earns in a single day of work. The insult deepens when the spotlight turns to award season. Golden statues are handed out for performances that were only possible because you risked your life to make them look real. Some stunt coordinators fight for recognition, but the Academy Awards still refuse to include a category for stunts, even though nearly every modern action movie depends on them. That silence reinforces the message. You are necessary, but you are not valued. The industry feeds off your labor, then erases your contribution from the story it sells to the world. Even within the crew, respect can feel thin. Directors, producers, and actors may praise your bravery on set, but once filming ends, those words mean little. You are not invited to premieres. You do not walk the red carpet. You do not sign autographs. For the fans, you are a ghost, existing only in the split second of a crash, a punch, or a fall. Fame is always reserved for someone else. You spend your career building legendary moments and then vanish into obscurity, while the star smiles for cameras and collects the credit for your pain. To be a stunt double is to live in the shadows of the industry, caught between constant danger and constant invisibility. You are essential, yet disposable. You shape the action that thrills audiences around the world, but you will never hear the roar of applause. You are the silent figure behind the spectacle, underpaid, unseen, and forgotten the moment the screen fades to black. The dangers of stunt work are not theoretical. They are written in blood on sets around the world, tragedies that show how fragile the line is between a successful shot and disaster. In 2015 in Cape Town, South Africa, Olivia Jackson climbed onto a motorcycle for a scene in Resident Evil, the final chapter. The setup looked simple, a fast ride timed with a crane-mounted camera sweeping in for the perfect shot. But timing is merciless. The crane failed to lift in time, and she collided head-on with the heavy metal arm. The impact left her in a coma, her face shattered, her spine damaged, and her left arm so destroyed it had to be amputated. Olivia was one of the most skilled stunt women in the industry, yet her career ended in a split second. The film made millions at the box office, while she was left with lifelong injuries and the knowledge that her sacrifice would be remembered only by those who witnessed it. Years earlier, in 2002, in Prague, Czech Republic, Harry O'Connor was doubling Vin Diesel for the action film XXX. The sequence was meant to be breathtaking, a paraglide stunt across the city's iconic Pulaski Bridge. Harry had already completed one flawless take, but as often happens, the director wanted another angle. On the second run, the timing went wrong. The parachute failed to clear the bridge, and he slammed into it at full speed. He was killed instantly, his body hanging over the Vltava River. The scene he died performing was included in the final cut of the movie, a chilling reminder that the thrill audiences enjoyed came at the cost of his life. Few who watched the film ever knew his name. In 2012, during filming of the Expendables 2 in Bulgaria, Jet Li's stunt double, Kun Liu, boarded a boat rigged for an explosion. The scene demanded chaos, fire, and destruction, the kind of spectacle that sells tickets around the world. But the blast went wrong. The detonation tore through the vessel with far greater force than planned, killing Kun Liu on the spot and injuring another stunt performer beside him. The production moved forward, the film was released, and audiences cheered at the action without realizing one of the men behind it never went home. These stories are not rare exceptions. They are part of a long list of names carved into the hidden history of cinema. Stunt performers are expected to risk everything for a few seconds of screen time, and when the worst happens, their deaths are written off as accidents in the pursuit of entertainment. The credits roll, the audience claps, and the memory of the person who made that moment possible fades into obscurity. Each of these tragedies shows the unspoken truth. Being a stunt double means offering your body, and sometimes your life, for glory that will never belong to you. On a film set, the reality is brutally simple. You are replaceable. Studios treat stunt doubles as interchangeable parts in a machine designed to produce entertainment at any cost. If you twist your ankle, fracture your wrist, or suffer a concussion that leaves you dizzy, the production does not slow down to give you time to recover. Another stunt performer is already waiting in the wings, ready to step into your role. You are not seen as an individual with skills and limits, but as a body whose job is to absorb punishment until it can no longer function. Once that day comes, someone younger, cheaper, and less injured takes your place. There is no career ladder, no structured path that rewards years of experience with stability or security. A stunt double does not retire with honors or with the kind of recognition other film professionals might earn. Most fade out when their injuries pile up too high, or when directors decide they are too slow to hit the ground with the same intensity as before. What remains is a body that has endured decades of impacts and a bank account that rarely reflects the pain it took to get there. For many, the only retirement plan is leaving the industry broken and hoping that disability checks or side jobs will cover what the studio never did. Directors often normalize the suffering as if it were part of the craft. They call for another take without thinking about how the extra fall will rattle your spine, or how the extra explosion will scorch your skin. Perfection is demanded on screen, even if it means destruction off-screen. Stunt doubles learn early to silence complaints, because once you say no, the production finds someone else who will say yes. In that silence, pain becomes routine. Every bruise is shrugged off, every dislocation popped back into place, every concussion hidden so the paycheck does not disappear. The industry rewards those who endure the most damage, not those who survive the longest. The financial trap is another layer of cruelty. Insurance and contracts cover the bare minimum, often only emergency care, leaving long-term rehabilitation and surgeries as personal debts. A stunt performer may need months of physiotherapy after a serious accident, but without steady pay, those months become impossible to afford. Many fall into cycles of debt, borrowing money to pay for treatment so they can heal just enough to return to the same work that will injure them again. The cost of staying in the industry is measured not just in pain, but in financial ruin. This constant replacement culture breeds internal competition. Every stunt double knows there is a line of others waiting to take the same risk for less money. That knowledge pushes performers to agree to increasingly reckless stunts, each one trying to prove they are tougher, faster, and more fearless than the rest. It is not about artistry or passion for film. It is survival in an environment where saying no is the same as ending your career. The studio does not care which body takes the fall. only that the fall looks convincing on camera. In this system, individuality disappears, safety dissolves, and every stunt double learns the harshest truth of all. You are not a valued professional. You're a disposable part in an endless cycle of risk and replacement. Even among peers, this culture erodes solidarity. Instead of protecting one another, many stunt performers hide injuries, exaggerate toughness, and accept unreasonable demands because they know someone else is always ready to step in. The atmosphere becomes a constant competition of who can endure more pain, who can say yes faster, who can take the bigger hit without complaint. Every fall is a test, every bruise a signal of commitment, and every scar proof that you still belong. But none of it guarantees stability. When your body finally gives out, the industry does not thank you. It simply moves on. The irony is that audiences believe stunt doubles are fearless, superhuman figures built for danger, when in reality they are workers trapped in a system that punishes vulnerability and rewards silence. No matter how many times you risk your life for a scene, you will never be irreplaceable. The credits do not pause to honor the person behind the flames, and the next job will not wait for you to recover. In the eyes of the studio, you are only as valuable as the next fall you can take. Once that fall breaks you beyond repair, you are forgotten, and another body steps forward to take your place. The final cost of working as a stunt double is not measured in the thrill of the moment or the applause of an audience. It is measured in bodies that no longer function, in careers cut short, in the quiet disappearance of people who once threw themselves into fire and concrete for the sake of a shot that lasted only seconds on screen. By the time most performers reach middle age, their joints are swollen, their spines compress, and their bones laced with metal plates and screws. Simple movements hurt, and everyday life becomes a reminder of every explosion, every collision, every fall that once entertained millions, but left scars that never fade. There is no lasting fame waiting at the end of this path. Stunt doubles are rarely remembered, even when their work defined the spectacle of an entire film. The public recalls the car flipping 3 times before bursting into flames, but they do not recall the name of the person inside. They remember the hero standing tall after a brutal fight, but not the double who absorbed every strike. Recognition is always handed to the actor, while the one who made the illusion real disappears into obscurity. When the career ends, most stunt performers leave with nothing more than hospital bills, permanent pain, and memories of moments that will never bear their names. Financially, the reward is rarely enough to match the suffering. Contracts are temporary, benefits are limited, and few stunt performers build enough savings to secure a comfortable future. Many veterans struggle with debt from endless surgeries and physical therapy, working odd jobs or relying on family once their bodies can no longer handle the punishment. Some turn to coaching or coordinating, but those positions are scarce, and competition is as fierce as it was on set. For most, there is no graceful exit. The industry that demanded their strength offers no support when that strength is gone. The cruelest truth is how easily the industry moves on. No matter how many years you gave, no matter how many risks you took, you are always replaceable. Another name, another body, another face the audience will never see steps in the moment you fall. The credits roll, the star smiles for the cameras, and your contribution vanishes into silence. The stunts that nearly killed you become background noise in a reel of highlights that will be remembered as the actor's triumph, not yours. Working as a stunt double can seem like a ticket into the world of action cinema, a chance to be part of something larger than life. But behind the explosions and car chases is a system that uses your pain as fuel for entertainment, discards you when you break, and leaves you behind when the next spectacle demands another sacrifice. The audience may cheer, the box office may soar, but at the end of it all, you are left with the same realization every stunt double eventually faces. You were never the star. You were always expendable.